Shelter in the Day of Trouble, Day 19. Today we're going to be doing something quite different. Today we're going to move slowly through a story which should be familiar to you and yet brand new. I'm going to read this story as you would read a meditation, allowing plenty of time for you to see, feel, and experience the details. In this story, you are the main character. Let's call you Beloved. You find yourself standing in the entrance foyer of a great theatre. There are many stairs, perhaps 8, leading from the floor upon which you're standing up to a great set of doors. And you know that on the inside of those doors is a tremendous bowl-shaped arena or theatre. You've been here before. This is part of God's house. This is part of your Father's house. As you stand here in the foyer, looking at those great doors, you see angels, guardian angels, guarding the way to the doors. There are 7 on each side. They form a corridor up the stairs. They have great swords, and their swords are lowered, crossing one another at the center, holding the path between you and the doors. You look to your right. There stands another angel, an attendant who's been waiting for you. Welcome, beloved of God, the angel begins. You respond, I'm glad to be here, but I don't know why I'm here, you say. I think the Father has summoned me. Indeed, he has, says the angel. Will you be wearing that? He asks, pointing at your clothes. You look down. You're wearing a faded t-shirt, tattered jeans, and old shoes. I'm afraid it's all I have to wear, you say. Don't worry. Your clothes will never be necessary. When you come to the Father's house, He always dresses you in Christ's righteousness. Your mind drifts back to a previous occasion when you visited the Father's house. You arrived dirty and muddy in the dead of night at the doorway to His mansion, and He welcomed you in. You were led then by His attendants across the marble floor to a bathing chamber where a hot, foam-filled tub was waiting for you. You soaked the dirt away, you scrubbed yourself clean, and when you climbed out, the Lord had prepared His finest for you to wear. You snap out of your memory and you look down to realize that now, once more, you are dressed in His finest. Just now you hear a mighty roar coming from within the assembly chamber behind the doors. It is the sound of a great crowd cheering. You look at the angel in surprise. Why, I've never heard that before. The sound of cheering? Ah, he says with a mischievous grin. Today is no ordinary assembly. You will see shortly. You wait in the foyer for some time, obviously expecting a command. As you wait, there are a few more bouts of cacophony. It's as if they're all watching a great match of some kind on the inside. Still you wait. Finally, the moment arrives. As you walk toward the door, the guarding angels raise their swords out of the way. And as you pass, they salute. That's new. What on earth are they saluting you for? As you reach the doors, they open slowly. From within, two lovely attendants greet you with warm smiles. From their look and their clothing, they seem to be from the Far East, perhaps Malaysia. As you walk to the rim of this bowl-like amphitheatre, you are greeted by a most unusual sight. Colour. Colour everywhere. Everyone is wearing their brightest livery. And there are flags and ribbons being waved about. Although it's now quiet, the atmosphere is charged with joy. Pure, hilarious joy. Stop at the edge of this amphitheatre for a moment. This great bowl-shaped structure with a tremendous domed roof covering it. Take it all in. Take in the sight of this vast crowd of happy, jubilant people. Look up at the ceiling, exquisitely detailed, the work of master craftsmen. As you are looking at the assembly, they all turn to look at you. You begin to hear whispers from them. They hear, it's the beloved. It's the beloved. Some begin to wave at you, rather shy and overwhelmed. You wave back at them. Then a man who is seated in the last seat at the edge of the row to your left steps out and takes your hand to shake it. Beloved of God, welcome, he says as he warmly shakes your hand. We are so glad to have you here today. The Father has asked me to explain what you are seeing. This, and he waves his arm over the crowd, is the assembly of the unknowns. It is the highest council in heaven, comprised of the Father's greatest saints. There is a small portion of the great saints who are of the highest rank, but who do not belong to the assembly of the unknowns. They are the rare ones who walked in the fullness of his love and were well known. Generally, however, being famous drastically reduces your chances of being truly great in his kingdom, leaving you with 10% of the chance that you might have had. However, this assembly of the greatest saints who have ever lived is made up exclusively of children, women and men who were never known on the earth. Their names were never published. They never held high offices or high esteem, nor were they elected to significant positions. There are some who are not in the assembly of the unknown who were of the highest rank, but I must reiterate, very few of those who are esteemed on the earth ever walk in the full measure of the Father's love? As Jesus said, many who are first will be last, and many who are last. Again, he sweeps his hand over the assembly with a great sense of joy. Will be first. The Father wants you to be here today, to see and to believe that his world truly is upside down. The unknown man then returns to his seat, and you are free to move on. As you descend the steps towards the base of the pinnacle of address, a large spike-like pinnacle in the middle of this amphitheatre, whose approach is a very steep stairway that takes you up onto a platform which suspends you more or less right at the center of the sphere. You're descending towards the base of this pinnacle. Suddenly you recognize a young girl on your left. She leaves her seat and she comes running towards you. You recognize her. You recognize her from earth. I know you, you say. You're Melody's daughter. I just can't remember your name right now. Don't worry, she says. You'll remember it soon. Daddy wants you to know that I am here. Many who are like me on earth are here too. Jaden will also join us when he comes home. We, the paralyzed and deformed and handicapped, are genuinely unknown. Samantha! It's Samantha! That's your name? Yes, you got it. She's still slight of frame, but walking upright and filled with winsomeness and joy, like a fairy. Her dress is a light summer dress, coloured orange and green and white. She also returns to her seat. You are awash with joy, knowing that she no longer is confined to her cerebral palsied body, but now walks in liberty and freedom. You continue down the steps, and as you do, the assembly begins to sing. In harmony, a multi-part choir bellows from all over the enormous stadium. Feel the sound of their joy. Be moved to your depths. You are so impressed that this assembly of the unknowns are a jovial lot, filled with joy and laughter, not given to taking themselves too seriously. As this song continues, you continue down the steps until you reach the base of the pinnacle of address, and then you begin to ascend the steep stairway up to the middle of this orb. It's a very exposed place, this pinnacle, a solitary 2 square meter platform at the center of the spherical stadium. Talk about being on the spot. As you reach the pinnacle, the whole room falls silent. You turn around to look at this room. So much color, so much joy. What will you say to them? Assembly of the unknowns, you begin. I am so honored and so grateful to be here today. The Lord knows that I don't deserve to be here. As you say this, the entire room bursts into laughter. as if you were a stand-up comedian and you had just delivered a punchline. And then you hear the voice of the Lord say, the word deserve is a 4-letter word here. Nobody deserves to be here, and everybody knows it. As you say, they don't take themselves very seriously. You turn around to look at the place where his throne is, and there you see the king approaching his throne amidst a throng of children. The children begin to sing an African melody. They all dance around the king as they approach the throne. Soon the entire assembly is swept up into the song, and it becomes even more glorious than it had been before. Finally, the king reaches his throne and takes his seat, and the children sit all around him, some of them on his lap. From his throne, he speaks. My beloved, this will not be a long visit. I have brought you here simply to see the assembly of the unknowns, and so that you can know that eternal fruit can hardly be measured on earth. Recognition, reputation, and publication count for nothing. All that matters now is that you learn to love. All of this he says with a great smile on his face and laughter in his voice. As the vision fades, you have the thought, Judy, my godmother, who never bore any children and who gave her life in service of others, she's here. She is in the assembly of the unknowns. Matthew chapter 5 verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Saints, I trust that you enjoyed this time together. I trust that this story will help you as it helped me to digest in the depths of my being that our Father's kingdom is truly upside down, and we can barely tell on the earth what the true meaning of our lives is. We know this: if we learn to walk in love as he walked in love, then we are walking in life and we are walking in his light. May his peace be your inheritance. May his joy be your food. And may the wraparound presence of his grace be yours both today and forevermore. God bless.